Yellow or blue or red, whatever color you're feeling right now. Hello. My name is Mark with the C, and I want to introduce myself. Who am I? What am I? What is my passion, my purpose? How did I even get here? Why am I sitting in front of a camera? I'll answer the last one like right now because when I was really little, I always have been fascinated by TV, by YouTube, and I always had this dream to be in front of a camera and just share. And so as I grew, not share, not like, do you believe in life after love? But no, I just want to share. The older I got, the more invested and interested I became in people's stories and people's lives. And especially now that I am kind of creating my own story. I guess the best example of this has been my experience at university. And I think let's start first. I went in concrete industry management, right? Me. And it was just tunnel vision. Like I only applied to one school because the one school had the one program that I knew was going to guarantee me financial success and stability. That's all I needed in life, but that's all that was instilled upon me. And so I only saw that avenue because, I grew up around a family that didn't believe in creativity as a means to an end or, pursuing your passions as something that's viable or that can guarantee security and freedom, basically. But so through my journey, I switched my majors three different times. And fortunately, I was still able to graduate within 4 years. I only took one extra semester. But during that time I was really getting to know myself. And the funniest thing is that my freshman year, which, my goodness, myself, I have to be so proud of you. Like, I am so proud of you, Mark. Because there's never been anything that I have allowed to hold myself back in terms of what I want to do, and especially in forms of creative expression and self-expression and passions. Another dream I had when I was really little was to be an actor, to be on screen, and right? Like, I'm just kidding. But the thing is that I loved acting. And really interesting turn of events is when I realized that I have been performing my entire life, in terms of like, oh, you give me a script to be a man. And sometimes I try to play the part, and other times I'm like, I'm not made for this fucking role. And then I kind of got like the best of both worlds where I'm like, okay, you want me to be a man? I'll show you what the fuck a man is, all right? And that is a leader. That is resilient and strong. And also embracing everything that doesn't make a man, like emotions and self-regulating yourself and caring about you and your impact on the people around you and evolving and growing. Those are the traits that I think make me a man. And that doesn't even make me a man. It just makes me a compassionate human being. Anyway, freshman year me, with the intention of securing a job in the field of concrete industry, or the field of concrete. If I was passionate about concrete, I would have pursued it. But no, like I'm not going to force myself to do something that I don't resonate with, that I don't like, and that I don't see a creative outlet within the program, the department. I asked around, and there was like, oh, concrete decorating. And I was like, okay, well, that's something, breadcrumbs. No thanks. And when I was having kind of these qualms within myself about my major and my decision, because when you make a decision like that, that's going to affect your entire life, your entire career, all of the goals you have in place, your ambitions and everything. And if they're not rooted in happiness, I was about to say success, Because when I was not really little, but in 8th grade, I think, our teacher asked the class, like, what is it that you want in life? And I said, I want success and happiness. And then as I got older, I started to realize, well, if I'm happy, I'm successful. So with that in mind, I also had a minor in theater arts. Wow, who would have guessed that? Not me. Who'd have thunk? I had a minor in theater arts. And that's why I was saying that I'm really proud of myself, because I was 17 my freshman year. I turned 18, I think, towards the fall of freshman year. To put myself out there, growing up in a small town of like very conservative people, and growing up in a very traditional conservative household, traditional Hispanic household, I was fucking breaking traditions and breaking my own barriers and breaking my own boundaries of trust and comfort and safety even. But what I found when I did that was so much support, so much love, and so much internal, like, accomplishment even. Even if I never... I auditioned a couple times for different places. I never made it. One time I got a callback for In the Heights. I just was not receptive to choreography at the time. And that's so interesting because I'm a dancer. I'm just naturally a dancer. I love to dance. I love to move. And after that experience, I was in Momentum, the choreography collective at Chico State. And I danced in there for, I want to say 2 years-ish. I know I was in a couple of our showcases. I'm trying to remember, 4 or 5 semesters maybe 1 year total. I don't remember. I was there though. I showed up and I was there, and I learned how to do choreography. So going back to that callback in the Heights. Ooh, I was ecstatic. I was so excited. I finally had gotten a call back, and it was for In the Heights, the musical In the Heights. Like, come on. Just kidding. Nikki's doing some weird shit right now, and I don't know. I don't respect it. I don't like it. So I take that back. Sorry, not sorry. Going back to what I was saying. When I was in the callback, I heard like the directors were like, yeah, like make it fun, do your own spin on it. We just want to see you, and you don't have to get the choreography correct. You just got to like try and show us like your stage presence and things like that. And there was this one friend of mine who, oh my God, this experience was so terrible. But so I'm in the front, right? And we're about to like perform the piece. And I was like a little, like kind of confident. I was like, okay, I finally picked up on some things that at least I can like go with like the crowd, and then like it won't seem that I literally just can't do anything. And so then when I heard the like, I drew a spin on it, we want to see your creativity, we want to see your stage presence. So I grab her hand, I spin her around. But because I did that too late, like I messed us both up. And so she missed her cue, I missed my cue. And I was just already feeling all the nerves coming in. And then all of a sudden, I see her, and on the freaking floor, I'm in complete shock. And I just put all of that blame on myself. I'm pretty sure that I was allowed to do that because, you know, if it weren't for me, that wouldn't probably have happened. And so I just didn't know what to do. Everybody was there. Everybody saw the entire thing. I felt incredibly, incredibly guilty and shameful about it. And after that experience, I said, I'm never showing myself to the theater department ever again. And this was after having my first Foundations of Acting class, which I incredibly loved so much. Marie Downing, merci beaucoup. That class was just amazing, and I got to be surrounded by different creative people, different artists and actors, and to really get to know my body and my voice. And what I learned in that class is I was struggling with my voice. Um, but it was just so liberating. And I remember one of the monologues that I practiced, it was for my final, I believe. And I just went, before we even started, we were just doing like read throughs or whatever. And me being me, like I get that paper and I'm like, okay, this is the emotion, this is what's happening. So as soon as it's my turn, like everybody's just reading it off the paper, just standing still pretty much. And then I'm like, nah, I'm not like that though. You can't contain me. So I grabbed the paper. I fucking launched myself onto the stage and I'm in the fucking scene. And I'm just reading the paper and talking and yelling and being like, and then I'm like, thank you. It was just so beautiful to be a part of that experience. And I'm talking about this because, this is where I felt passion. This is where I felt more energy, more footwork. Come on. You know what I mean? And it was just beautiful. It was incredible. And for me to put myself out there like that and to do that in front of people, in front of strangers, in front of my peers, my classmates, to be vulnerable. And then to hear back, you should switch your major to theater arts. Like, we need you. Like, you are so good at what you're doing. And this was like me never having had experience in musical theater, never having had experience acting ever before. But it's just innate. You know what I mean? But yeah, so after the experience and the callback, I was just so nervous. I saw my friend the next day or a couple of days after that, and I just went up to her and I was just like, I'm so sorry for what happened. Like, I feel so guilty about it. This. And she's like, no, you're fine. Like, it's fine. Like, it happened and whatever. And I was like, what? How is this fine? Like, I literally ruined our callback auditions. But she just went about her day and about her life. And I was like, I can fuck up. And it's not the end of the world. So after having had like this culmination of experiences, I went to my department chair and I told her, I was like, hey, I have a minor in theater arts. And this is where I feel incredibly passionate. Excuse me. This is where I feel like I can thrive. And, she was really adamant about me being in the major and pursuing concrete industry management. And, I had the grades, I had the drive. Like I said, if I was really interested about concrete, like that would have been my field of choice. That would have been like, I would have pursued it. My thought process around this was, okay, yes, I'll be financially stable, financially secure. I'll go to my 9 to 5. And then afterwards, I'll get to go and perform and do whatever it is that I want to do. Be more creative, be more artistic outside of the job, outside of the field. But as I was learning about the major, it's like, no, these aren't 9 to 5s. This is like your whole life. This is your 12 to 12 kind of shit. And it's like, that's what really discouraged me from pursuing it, because I'm like, well, shit, I'm not going to have time. So then I was telling the department chair, I was like, hey, you know what? I'm not really confident about this major and this decision. And she was like, okay, well, you love performing, right? And I was like, I do. And she was like, well, that's good, because here we do a lot of presentations and we do a lot of this and that, and it's like a performance. And I was like, right. Okay, thank you. And then I went to go switch my major right after that. Woo! So this and this and that. And then this and this and that. And then this and this and that. And then this and this and that. So why was this experience so important for me? And I think the answer is that I think that it just really shows my willingness and incapability to settle. So willingness to never settle, but my incapability to settle. I can't stay and do and be and live in an environment that I don't think is cultivating happiness for me in the ways that I resonate with. And this speaks to my experience, to my lived experience. When I was younger, I grew up around so much violence, verbal, physical, so much abuse. And I never felt that that was right. However, monkey see, monkey do type of shit, you know what I mean? So it was really hard for me to unlearn the things that I was growing up with. The things that I never deeply resonated with and that I was always just against was misogyny, toxic masculinity, homophobia. So I always, and sorry if this is you, but I always cringe and I find it so hard to believe people who say, I grew up like this is why the way I am, or this is why the way this is whatever. And for me, I'm like, what? How can you even believe that? How can you say that? Just because you saw this growing up, like, I get why it would be hard to change. But for you to just use it as an excuse and to, like, willingly just repeat it, I can't do that. And I think that's kind of like my purpose here, to be an example and to show that you're capable of changing, of growing and evolving. And all you have to do is just be true to yourself, to your own nature, and not reenact your lived experiences, and to also unlearn everything that you've been indoctrinated and told to believe. If you can't question it, or if you're reprimanded for questioning it, how much of that is actually true and how much of it is just another tactic to keep you from being your full self? So, I want to be that, to share my story there. And through this, I want to connect with other people who are going through the same things, unlearning all of everything that was holding us back and learning how to be compassionate and how to love through the pain and the suffering that we endured and experienced growing up. If you are a queer person, if you come from a Mexican background, I won't say Hispanic anymore because my background is Mexican. I know Mexican is not a race. I know it's a nationality. That's what I'm saying. You come from Mexico, that's what I'm referring to. Si eres Chicano, Mexican American, and if you are also a man, because I'm a man, or if you're a woman struggling with these same kinds of narratives of toxicity and just misogyny. Like, I grew up just with my mom, and it was just the two of us for like a decade. And I saw the resiliency, the power that she has within herself, and all of that power that was constantly trying to be taken away by her own brothers, and especially the man in her life. And then I also saw how easy it was for her to attract this kind of shit because she didn't realize the power within herself. She's made me so proud recently because she's trying to understand that now. And she now sees her worth and her value at 48. Yeah. So if we can start seeing our worth and start seeing our value even younger. I'm only 22. And I think that I'm doing a lot of the heavy healing stuff that most 30, 40, 50, even 60, 70-year-olds, yeah, I went as far as to say 70, can't even begin to try to do. It's hard and it's heavy, and all of the things that hold us back will rise. But knowing that I'm not the only one on this path, knowing that there are other people out there like me sharing their stories, sharing their struggles, and sharing how they overcame them, I know that I am supported, even if indirectly. And I want to be another voice out there, and I want to be another support system for other people. I'm not able, and I will not put myself in that position to be a savior, because I know I can only save myself. But if I can lead by example and talk about how I was able to free myself from the environments I grew up around and the people that I grew up around, I just want to affirm that you can do that shit too. And it is gonna be hard. But we can do hard things. I'm gonna show y'all the back. Hold on. Yeah. They can't scare me if I scare them first. And I'm back. So, come along for the ride on this path to healing, on this path to figuring out how to live your life the way that you were meant to do that. Bon voyage. À tout à l'heure. Bye.